The fact that she could only see in a situation where someone literally lost the most important human in their life, she saw that as, but I didn't get a thank you card. Where's my thank you card? Gimme, no. Hey guys, it's Briar of Briar Chats, and this is a safe space for yappers. Now, straight off the bat, trigger warning. I'm going to be putting on the screen the words because I don't think that I can really, I don't know. I know YouTube's a bit funny when you say the words, but these are the things that are going to be discussed in this video. And I just want to be super upfront about that because I don't want this video to upset or trigger people. And like, if it's not something that you feel mentally capable watching right now, you simply do not have to watch this video. There'll be another video for you. With all of that said, in today's video, we are going to be talking about Tasha Page and Veruca Salt and how incredibly distastefully Tasha Page has been acting towards Veruca, not only at her baby's 3-month-old babies. The way that she was being shady online, talking about Veruca, the way that she is reacting to people reacting to her, and of course, Veruca's take on the whole situation. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, stick around and let's get into it. Now, shocking as per usual, I don't know these people in real life. I'm just reacting to the behavior. I cannot say who is like a good or bad person. I can just say my opinion on the actions. I can just say my interpretation of their behavior and how they're reacting to the situation. So let's first start off with who even are Tasha Page and Veruca Salt. So first, let's start with Veruca Salt, who her actual name is Kimberly, but she goes by Veruca Salt online. She is an OF creator, but she is also very popular on TikTok and Instagram. I will say straight off the bat, has gotten into a few different dramas over the years and kind of became a controversial person for a while there. She unfortunately got this kind of reputation of not being able to hold friends, I guess, for a while, because she would make friends, have friends online, and then have these very public fallouts and breakups with these friendships. And it just kind of, I think a lot of people came to the conclusion, like, you know, you meet one asshole in a day, that person's an asshole, but if everyone you meet's an asshole, why did I say it like that? But you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I think Veruca is. And I also think that it's very normal. Like, everyone has friendship breakups. Everyone goes through like messy situations with their friends. And I do think that when you are new to navigating an online presence and maybe you haven't had the most functional relationships, a lot of people don't know how to navigate those the best. So all of that to say, I acknowledge and am not pretending like those things didn't happen. However, I'm not saying that this is some sort of excuse for what Tasha has done or how Tasha has behaved. And I almost feel like, you know, it reminds me of like the Tanner and Cody Ko situation, where it's almost like if you're not this perfect victim, if you're not this like flawless individual online, like people are just gonna drag on you and like say that you deserve to be treated badly or like make up excuses when that's not the case. As we get into it, the way that Tasha treated Veruca is not okay, and Veruca's previous relationships to other people isn't relevant to that and doesn't justify how Tasha acted. Now, Tasha is someone that I have not followed before. I will say I think I do follow Veruca on TikTok and Instagram, whereas I've never followed or seen Tasha before. Not to say that she's any less valid of a creator. She is also an OF creator, and they're both Australian. They're both from Australia, the land of the kangaroos. Kath and Kim. Who else is from Australia? Troye Sivan. Clinton Kane Wishes. They're both influencers from Australia. And I don't know I don't know what any influencer scene is like. I would imagine that, like, whilst yes, Australia is a lot bigger than New Zealand, I would imagine that it'd be pretty easy to like connect with different influencers. Like, I feel like it would be kind of a smaller scene and you would like get to know people pretty easily if you are in that influencing TikTok, OF, Instagram space. So now that that has been established, I feel like another thing that if you don't know anything about the situation that needs to be established is unfortunately the passing of Veruca's baby. Now, Veruca, I feel like a lot of people saw a huge change in her when she got pregnant. Baby's name was Cash, and she like it completely transformed her. And unfortunately, as it does happen with babies, like I'm literally getting chills just even talking about it. Like I cannot imagine the heartbreak and the overwhelming, it's absolutely awful. From what I understand, there is like a small percentage of babies that just do pass when they are that young, and I'm not sure what it's called everywhere, but I think it's called SIDS. Babies when they're that small can unfortunately pass, and there's no real rhyme or reason, and it's incredibly tragic. And that sadly and tragically did happen to Veruca's baby Cash when he was around 3 months old. I feel like that's an incredibly important thing to say as well, because obviously I think that happened in February this year, and obviously throughout this year, like dealing with such a loss is like, so many people are just lucky to never know what that feels like. And I couldn't even imagine for Tasha to have behaved at her baby's funeral in this way. Not just that, but what the way she's continued to behave online over someone else's baby passing, to me is inexcusable. And I know in these videos I try to, even when I disagree with people, I try to remain really neutral. And if I don't remain really neutral, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that Tasha's a bad person. I don't know her, but I'm saying the way that she is acting and is not seeing the hurt and the way that she is acting and the way that she thinks that there is nothing she can do to fix it is inexcusable to me. But I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I feel like we've established the main points. Tasha and Veruca are both influencers. Veruca tragically and sadly lost her baby at the beginning of the year when her and Tasha were friends. And Tasha had been invited to not only her baby shower, but then also the funeral for her baby. Nothing really came out about it at the time. Like no one knew anything. And I think this is like, to me, like I can't help but have that reaction of, are you seriously using your so-called friend's trauma and loss for attention and clout? Because the only reason that this has come about is because of this TikTok that Tasha posted that I'm going to show you now. So let's just simply watch the TikTok that started it all, that made Veruca speak out, that made everyone even know like how she behaved and how she acted. Literally, if she didn't post this, I don't think anyone would have ever known. No one was speaking about it during the funeral or after. She literally is the one that brought it up. So let's just watch that TikTok, shall we?
Do you know what frustrates me for real is that there was this person that I was friends with because they asked to hang out with me and I knew they didn't have that many friends. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And like, also it's good to make new friends. Long story short, I become friends with this person. They then invite me to, a function. I go because I'm like, oh, they invited me. I want to go be a good person. So I go. I spend all this money on gifts for the function. In question, give it to them, forget to buy a card, don't get any thank you, never get any thank yous. They find out some bad news, I send them flowers, teddies, all this shit, and I'm made out to be the bad person. And it's just like, it's just so funny because bitch, I choose not to say anything, but it's just like people stir shit, they stir the pot, and I'm like, stop stirring because I'll make it boil, honestly. Like,
So to add some needed context, the function that she's talking about is the baby shower. And Veruca says this, I don't have all of Veruca's initial story reactions because they were Instagram story reactions. I just have her TikTok that she posted addressing it all later. So I'm not trying to speak on her behalf. I just don't have the videos. Veruca said, she was not the one that took the gifts. So if a gift did not have a card, which she admitted to, it did not have a card, how is she going to know to thank you for what you bought if there was no card for it? And then the bad news that she's talking about is her baby literally passing away. How you make this about you, and obviously what is happening is people within their Instagram influencer friend circle are finding out how she acted and are not happy with how she acted. And don't worry, we will get into how she acted. For you to off the bat be like, so drama, so why am I bad guy? Why me? I literally bought you presents. I literally bought you a present and forgot to buy a card. Why am I the bad guy? Okay, whatever that means. Anyway, because of this, a lot of things came up to surface, including Tasha speaking at Veruca's baby's funeral, where she had never even met the baby, and then also a vlog that she posted before anyone else did. So yeah, she did do a little bit of a Lila Gibney, but she was like, I know how to make this so much worse. Don't even worry about it. Hold my tequila. I'm going to be the worst. So let's now watch those videos.
And now I just got Veruca some John Julio. I don't know how to say this shit. I don't actually drink tequila, but she's gonna need it. Yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty heavy day. I've been to funerals before, but never for a baby. So it's just, yeah. There's not a lot to say, to be honest.
The fact that you see your friends, like, I don't think that she saw Veruca as a friend. I think she sees her as someone that can get her attention, because she literally saw her friend's baby's funeral as a source of content, as something to film, as something to vlog. A baby that she never even met is now your TikTok content. Like, when did this happen? When did that become content? Anyway, this is what she decided to say at the funeral.
Ash is the most loved little baby that there will ever be by all the baddies of the fucking Gold Coast in Queensland. He is the most fucking baddie attention man that will ever be on the Gold Coast. Make him live with like everlasting pussy and peace. For the life of me, I could never imagine someone I considered a friend coming to my son's funeral and saying, one, I never had the pleasure of meeting the baby. Two, I'm leaning on the hearse. I'm cursing when I'm giving a speech that I was not even asked to give, considering they asked for a moment of silence. Then you go on to say, I hope he has everlasting pussy in heaven. This baby was an infant child. Infant. This is a funeral. You bitches lack decorum and couth and sympathy and empathy. Oh my goodness. I could never, the way I would have turned that bitch upside down on her head. Don't you ever, one, disrespect my child, who I am giving back to the Lord. Two, don't you ever disrespect me and call yourself my friend. It's disgusting. And then her excuse is, oh, I was drunk. Bitch, if you don't know how to hold your liquor, don't drink it.
Not only did she vlog it, not only did she later make it about herself, but as it was exposed, she made a speech that was unsolicited at the funeral, saying that she hopes he has forever cats in heaven. I'm literally going to scream, cry, and throw up. What? Like, I know, like, clearly that was not planned, but don't say anything. Like, no one asked you to. Like, I am literally lost for words. I get it. People say dumb shit all the time. People say stupid shit all the time. But I think when you become a grown adult, A, if you have a speech, like, write something down. Like, yeah, it's true. You should probably come prepared and write it down. And B, if you don't trust yourself in those situations to know what is and isn't appropriate to say, just sit it out. You don't have to speak, actually, especially if you didn't meet Cash. no one expects you to speak. Just be there. It's not about you. You're just there to support. You're there to show your respect. You're not there to make it about yourself. You're not there to make it content, and you're not there to make it sexually charged. Forever Cats in heaven for a baby, a 3-month-old baby. Now, all of this was exposed because when Tasha made that kind of clapbacky video that I showed you in the beginning, she had had enough. She was so sick of Tasha continuing to make her loss of her baby about her. The fact that she could only see in a situation where someone literally lost the most important thing in their life, the most important human in their life, she saw that as, but I didn't get a thank you card. Where's my thank you card? Gimme. No. Do you understand it if I say it in an Australian accent? Probably not. Anyway, unfortunately, it just gets worse and worse. Because instead of reflecting on the bad reaction that Tasha has gotten, that people are saying this is not okay, this is not right, this isn't appropriate, instead of taking that in and reflecting, she has decided to use this as her 15 minutes of fame, her excuse for clout, her time to post, her time to stir the pot. So let's watch some of those videos now.
To everyone that is saying I need to see a therapist, good news, I did today. I went to gym. I didn't train upper body, obviously. I only train lower body because of my boobs. But yeah, don't worry. I just went and pushed some metal and said that's the only therapy I need.
Now, I'm not saying that working out is not good for your mental health. Of course it is. But do not say that you posted that with sincerity, that you were doing that for your mental health and not to add fuel to this fire, to not build on the attention you're getting, and to not say, I see you all talking about me and I don't really care because look at my body, oddy. I went to the gym.
Do you think you're pregnant? No. Why? Because it doesn't make sense.
So just randomly, just like for no reason at all, she decided to repost that on this day. Okay, sure. And so now I want to show you her reaction video to this, her explaining herself. This video is long, so I'm going to be playing it on 2x speed, and we'll see if we have to pause throughout, probably. But yes, this is her long form reaction explanation video to the situation, because apparently those shit posts weren't quite slicing the sandwich.
I'm going to address the funeral that I attended, the so-called tea that everyone is talking about, and the thing that I'm getting cancelled for, per se. The video I posted yesterday, when I said function, I was referring to a baby shower, not a funeral. The funeral came after that. What I was bringing up in the beginning of the video was all prior to anything happening, and then I said obviously she got bad news, and then I sent a little gift basket. That's all that I touched on in that video. So prior to the funeral, I was pregnant. Veruca and I were friends, and I was talking to her about my pregnancy, what I wanted to do, whether I was going to choose to keep it or not. She was just like, oh, keep it, get the date off the fucking baby certificate, whatever. So I ended up going through and getting an abortion. Once I had the abortion, I had a lot of emotions that I obviously was subconsciously not aware about, and those things kind of don't come up until you put into a situation where it kind of reminds you or triggers those emotions to come back up. So like I said in the other video earlier, I got a baby shower gift, essentially, and then I was in America when everything happened, when I came home. So when I was in America, I couldn't be here, so I sent her flowers and a teddy to be like, fuck, I'm so sorry, sending you love from, another country. I was just sorry I couldn't be there. So after I sent those flowers and everything, she didn't reach out. Obviously she's got shit going on, fair. But the thing is, when I came home, right, I got an invite to the funeral. So when I got an invite to the funeral, I literally said to my friends, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea because I just had an abortion. And all of my friends told me I had just had an abortion. It was definitely not a good idea for me to be at one of those things. But I tried to put it aside because in my head I was like, well, no, like, be there for your friend, it doesn't matter what you had to go through. So that's what I kind of put my mindset into. So I went to the funeral. I had already sent her flowers and a teddy, and I had...
This is the thing about being a fully grown adult. You are acknowledging that you should not have gone because of your own personal things that you had just gone through. Those are valid and fair. However, as an adult, you are responsible for not making your trauma everyone else's problem at someone else's event and situation. You going to that funeral and then making people uncomfortable, being inappropriate, not being respectful, is not going and supporting, is not putting things aside. And yeah, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, I mean, I don't know if she would have chosen to do something different. I would hope so, but I don't know. It's not an excuse to say that you were just trying to be there for your friends, so you like somehow that makes it like you were being the bigger person by putting your trauma aside. Like, no. when you're an adult, you have to be honest with yourself and honest with your friends and honest with the people in your life. If you can't be there for someone, if you can't do that, if that's not something you can add to.
Message her directly, which I'm sure she can show you the messages and she's already posted them. That I said to her, I was like, hey babe, like, what's your favorite drink? I'm going to get you that instead of flowers for one that I've already sent that are going to die too. I already sent her a teddy. That was my thought process. I'm not saying that's how people think, but that was my own thought process. She told me her favorite type of tequila. I don't even drink tequila. I went out, I bought the tequila, and then that's what I rocked up to the funeral with. Although people suggest that tequila isn't a good thing to give to a grieving mother, for one, I didn't know that apparently she had substance abuse issues in the past, which everyone then came at me for. They're like, why would you give alcohol to someone that used to be an alcoholic? Bitch, I've only known this person for like 6 months. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? But anyway, I get to the funeral, I give her the gift that I bought, and then yeah, she's like, okay, well, should we do shots? Once I got to the funeral, there was already like 2 massive slushy machines filled with vodka to the brim. There was vodka everywhere. Everyone was drinking alcohol, so it wasn't like I was the only one that decided to bring alcohol or anything. Like I said, I don't drink tequila. We had a couple tequila shots with Veruca and a few of the other girls, and then after that it sent me, because again, tequila is not my alcohol. So I started to get very emotional, very worked up, because obviously I was there for her baby's funeral, but then obviously within that I hadn't realized all the shit that I hadn't processed with my abortion, so I just got super emotional. So long story short, I was hysterical at the funeral. I was hysterical when the balloons got released. I was hysterical inside. When we were all inside, everyone was talking about going to the casino after. I was teary and a fucking mess, so I was like, look, I can come if you want, but I'm gonna have to like go home and get freshened up first and then I'll come back. And everyone was like, yeah, do that, come back. And I did that and I came back, and then at that stage everyone had left, and then it was just me, her, and I think maybe 2 of her family members left over. I stayed for like another hour or so, and then I went home. When I went to the funeral, I wasn't planning on drinking. I drove there myself, like I wasn't planning on drinking at all. And then when I went inside, okay, they were like, the slushies have way too much alcohol in them, there's alcohol here, let's do shots. Like, I wasn't the one condoning the drinking to start with. I got drunk, obviously, I got so emotional, and yeah, I cried a fucking lot, because I was letting out all the emotions from my abortion, plus I was processing being there for someone that has obviously lost their child, and it was heavy, bro. It was very heavy. After the funeral, I sent Veruca a few messages, and I was like, look, I know my behavior wasn't okay. And yeah, I was just trying to be accountable for what I did, which I was. And yeah, I was sending her messages. I messaged a few of our mutual friends, checking in on her, making sure that she was okay, and then just also saying to them, look, you know, if when you see her, just let her know that I am sorry for how I behaved. I was very accountable. Never expected her to forgive it or anything, like whatever. A human, I was processing my emotions, and in theory it would have been better for me to not go to the funeral, because then I'm not accidentally projecting my shit onto other people, but then also not making something that isn't about me, sort of about myself. I already replied over several messages. I tried to not be overbearing. I tried to be accountable and responsible for my actions, which I believe the messages I sent to Veruca prior to that one screenshot that she showed. I was trying to reach out and I was trying to be accountable. I wasn't expecting her to turn around and be like, that's okay babe, don't worry about it. I wasn't expecting that at all. I just wanted her to know that I knew I fucked up, which I'm human. Everyone fucks up. I had so much unresolved shit in my head that came up during that funeral, so it was just not a good idea for me to go to an infant's funeral when I had just had an abortion at the end of the day. The video I posted yesterday where I was ranting about the gift thing, that wasn't referring to any gifts from a funeral or for the funeral. It was referring to the gifts from the baby shower, because I was like, this bitch is having a baby. I know people with babies. I raised children when I was growing up. I raised my siblings, so I was just like, I pretty much got her all the basic shit that I thought she would need, and that's what I was upset I didn't get a thank you about. This was all prior to the funeral, so this has nothing to do with the funeral. This is how I felt before the funeral, but I put it aside once I found out everything happened. I was like, fuck, I need to put my feelings aside to be there for this person. Clearly I got super emotional. My emotions were super heightened, and yeah, I had a lot of unresolved shit going on that I didn't realize. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is I didn't know that in my head, and I'm apologetic. I apologize to her. So everyone that's commenting and fucking my things, whatever you're commenting on, I did apologize to her. I sent her messages. I obviously wasn't going to go up to her face and be like, I'm sorry, and like force her to see me say sorry. But yeah, I reached out to her. I sent several messages. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am aware of my actions. I'm aware of what happened, and there's not a lot that I can do now besides learn better for next time, essentially. Not go to a funeral if you've had an abortion. At the funeral, the mother of the child said that social media is okay. She wants her son to be remembered, but just not to include any personal things, obviously hers or the funeral companies, anything like that. But from the beginning of the funeral, she said, yeah, I want my son to be remembered, you know, social media is okay. I made sure of that as well. When I made the TikTok about Cash's funeral and I showed the balloons releasing to the air and everything, and me talking about me buying a bottle of alcohol and stuff, I never realized that was going to hurt people's feelings or hurt hers particularly. But that's exactly why I reached out to her directly, and I sent her messages, being accountable and apologizing, and yeah, realizing the mistake that I had done. And apparently I accidentally flashed my pink undies. I don't know. I'm human. I'm an adult. I made a mistake. I'm still learning to navigate this life. I'm accountable for it. I was accountable to her for it. She mentioned in a live that there was tea to spill about us because she was trying to raise money for a family in Gaza. From what I understand, she hit the target, which is great, but that's where she dropped a few little crumbs about this. And yeah. So yeah, I shouldn't have gone because I had just had an abortion in retrospect. But I did reach out to her and I did apologize to her directly. But also I am accountable. I recognize what I did was wrong and it was a mistake. And I've learned. But I've forgiven myself and I've worked past it. And yeah, the bridge is bent with her, which is fair, but I made a mistake.
I love that how she has forgiven herself, which is, you know, great. It's hard for that apology or any apology that she made feel sincere when literally you're now using it as tea and using it as a way to get engagement and views however many months later. Like, it's inappropriate. It's not okay. It makes your apology seem insincere. It makes everything that you may have said to Veruca seem insincere. The words you're saying are one thing, but your actions are doing something completely different. She's literally snapping over not getting a thank you for a gift. How can you in one breath say you know you didn't give a card and then still be upset for not getting a thank you for a baby shower gift and still bringing it up as if that validates why you behaved the way you did, why you're doing these shady TikToks. I know she was saying that Veruca was dropping hints on a live for raising funds for Gaza. So it's like she was doing that to get money. time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner. Like, literally, you could have left at so many points. You could have left once you realized that it was triggering you and it made you hysterical. There were so many times and points where you could have left and you could have, said that that's enough. That 100 times over would have been better than overstaying your welcome and doing what you did. Yes, of course, what Hannah Montana said is totally true. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody has those days. However, saying that you're an adult and you're learning and you're accountable and acting a completely different way, stirring the pot online, bringing crap up later, over not getting a thank you card, it negates your apology. It negates any sort of extension and accountability you may have had. So here is just another quick TikTok of her explaining the texts.
I got the receipts. My phone automatically deletes messages, but I went on my laptop and I found them, so here they are. So these are the messages that weren't shown. I've shown you from I'll Be There Beautiful because the message above that had her address in it and all the details for the funeral, and I don't want to put that in here. But I then went on to say, love you, here for you, I'll see you there, reach out if you need anything. I then reached out on the day of the funeral and let her know about the TikTok I posted. I then reached out to her when her Instagram account got deleted, and then I reached out again saying, again, I am sorry, I'm aware of my actions and they weren't okay. I'll leave it there so you guys can read it, but does anyone not remember what Veruca did to Peach? Or what Veruca tried to do to Anna Paul? I'm aware of my mistakes. I'm okay with myself. I've forgiven myself, so it's all good. I reached out. I knew what the issue was. I'm aware of it. I'm accountable. That's all I can do. What do you want me to do? I've said sorry. I said sorry to her in these messages as well. And I was quite respectful and concise in them as well. So
this is what she said. Also wanted to message and say, I'm sorry for getting so drunk yesterday. I think the lack of food, shots, etc. knocked me on my ass. I'm sorry if I was inappropriate or insensitive in any way, as it wasn't my intention. It was a beautiful celebration for him and I'm glad I got to be there for you. If I was inappropriate. This is the thing that really frustrates me. Good intentions don't erase bad actions. Well-intended bad decisions, well-intended bad actions, that's still a bad action. Sure, it makes the way that you perceive that person differently because it wasn't malicious and it may have been a mistake. If you did something wrong, your intentions don't erase that. And I don't understand why people think that it's okay to say, it wasn't my intention to ruin your baby's funeral. It wasn't my intention to hope that he gets lots of cats. I wish she said cats. Why? Why didn't you say little fruits? Why didn't you say Forever Bluey? I'm sorry, but that apology doesn't really cut it for me, especially considering how she's behaving now and how she's using how Veruca has treated other people in the past as if it somehow negates her bad action and being like, but look, she's had friendship fights before, but look, she was a bad friend before, but look, she tried to call someone out before. Two things can be true at once. Veruca can have had bad friendship fallouts. She can have acted badly towards Anna Paul when she was grieving over the loss of her baby. And now she could actually be calling you out for valid things that you did and the way you behaved at her baby's funeral. Let's now watch Veruca's response to everything.
Good morning, guys. I'm a little sick, but let's get into it. I do not have the answers. I don't know what is going on in this girl's brain. I don't know why she's mentally the slowest person on the planet. I do not know. But I will answer a few questions. So, why did no one say anything? She had been following me around for 3 hours inside my home during the funeral. So, first of all, no one wants to cause a scene. No one can get me alone for even a minute to be like, hey, what's up? What do you want me to do? No one can really tell how close she is to me because she's making it seem like she's my best friend when I'm walking away from her and she's following me around. And no one in my life is just really like that. No one would say, shut the fuck up. Except for me, probably. But I was not mentally there. I didn't even register that this was going on. I just felt it was annoying. I wasn't even angry until 3 days later. I was not there. Obviously, my baby just died. So, there's that. I don't know why she was like, yes, I know. I'm going to say She didn't say thank you for my baby shower present. Yes, everyone's gonna hate her. I'm gonna be vindicated for everything I did at her son's fucking funeral. Yes. I don't know. I don't know what her thought process there was. Whatever. She can have that. I guess when I did eventually bite back after months of being poked at online, she decided to call me a liar. I guess she did not expect me to have the fucking video, did she? But you win some, you lose some, I guess, girl. Anyway, what I do know is this girl will go on to have her own babies. Her babies will go on to have their own babies, and she will not be able to look at any of these babies sleeping in their cribs, sleeping in their bassinet, as soon as she gives birth, honestly, without thinking about my baby in his coffin. And you know what? It will haunt her for the rest of her life, and I've made my peace with that. Thank you.
And I think that that is just it, isn't it? Tasha is upset that she didn't get a thank you card for a baby shower gift, and probably upset that people see her differently after the way she acted at Veruca's son's funeral. She is probably upset that that's burnt some bridges for her and has gone on to be shady online, and then further to that, use it to get more attention and more views on her content, because her content is getting a lot of views right now. But Veruca is upset because she literally behaved so badly at her son's funeral. These qualms are not the same. These behaviors are not the same. The level of what has happened is not the same. And the fact that Tasha thinks that her argument is valid in the light of everything else is strange to me. Like, I can't process it. And like, great that she's forgiven herself. It's clear that she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. It's clear that she's now just using this to get as much following and engagement and clicks on her content whilst she's kind of getting all of these views. And you know, that's her choice. But to not listen when the overwhelming response to your actions is, you fucked up, this is wrong, stop behaving this way, stop using someone's son passing as a means for clout, as a means for silly little drama and silly little dramas and silly little fights over not getting a thank you card. She's like, la 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 la, I don't want to listen. No, because guys, I forgave myself. I said sorry, so I can behave however I want to right now. I can be petty right now because she's not my friend anyway. It's like, she's like, well, Veruca's not my friend anymore, so I can behave as badly as I feel like. I can be as rude and mean as I want to, and I can use this to get as much engagement while I still can because I forgave myself. Okay, cool. That's nice. Anyway, I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this because obviously it's an incredibly heavy topic. So if you did watch this video, I appreciate you watching and listening, and I would really love to know what you think in the comments down below. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. If I was Veruca, I would literally be so fuming. You are turning her loss and probably the most tragic, awful, and heartbreaking things that has ever happened to her and that would ever happen to most people. You're turning it into petty drama. You're turning it into getting attention on TikTok, and you're using it for clout. You're using your friends, your ex-friends' trauma for clout. To me, that completely invalidates any apology that you may have once given. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think because you guys always have such good thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I will link my vlog channel down below. But don't you worry, guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye.